Hello and welcome to Knights of Honor 2 Sovereign. I'm Shadow Coast and welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to explain how sieges, acquiring, and then pacifying new territories work in this game. So to begin with, to initiate a siege, you're going to need an army
Fight
and you're
with
going to need to be
honor!
at war with an enemy. So I'm at war with Aragon here. This is their little settlement. And effectively what I did was I took my army and I right clicked on it to come down here and attack it. Once it attacks the enemy settlement, this screen's going to pop up and you can see it over to the right if you want to fast travel to it. I have some other stuff going on here which we're going to kind
No
of ignore
surrender!
for
No
purposes of this
retreat!
video. So once you engage in a siege, there are a few key components to understand. In any battle, including siege battles, you can only have two armies committed at any given time. So if you have three or four armies, you can only commit two of them at a time. This is really important because when you initiate the siege, if the enemy has reinforcements coming that are going to outnumber you in the siege, they can counterattack and then quickly or swiftly overrun you. So I always recommend having three, maybe four armies if you're trying to take a main capital or have a big enemy you're fighting, and have two armies kind of stationed around to intercept any reinforcements to prevent them from reinforcing and then defeating your siege. Now, when we look at the siege little screen here, there are a couple of things that we want to call out. So we're going to start at the bottom and then we're going to kind of go up around the top. So for our armies or your armies, you want to make sure you keep track of your supplies and your depletion rate. So you can see here, I have two armies here, Marshal Sithig and Marshal Q, and you can see the supplies that they have for both armies. I'm at 200 because I've increased my logistics capacity to add extra supplies. We can see the upkeep for both marshals, which, as long as you can afford it, that's irrelevant to the siege. So you want to manage this. Now, if you're running low on supplies, you may not want to break the siege because you're going to incur losses when you retreat, and that can be devastating. So if you have a few merchants on retainer or in process, they will gain the
What a fine
ability
day to
to
trade.
resupply or attempt to resupply for whatever cost it is your armies. So I always recommend to have at least one, if not two merchants ready to go. I do believe they can multitask, so if they're engaged in trading with a foreign country, I believe they can still resupply, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, please call it out in the comments, but I've never noticed any of my trade agreements being canceled when I resupply, so I'm assuming they can multitask there. So make sure you manage your supplies. You don't want to run out, because when you do, then you're going to start incurring losses, and then you'll be overrun and lose. Going over to the right, there are three bars here. All are important. So the bottom bar here is the defender's food supply. This is really important because once it runs out, they're going to start incurring significantly more losses to morale and resilience. And those are two critical pieces. Up here we have siege defense. The defense capabilities of Papluma are determined by the fortifications built within. So if and when Papluma loses 50% of its siege defenses, the attacker can start an assault. So the siege defense is something you're going to want to look at. As soon as that's gone down to half, we can then assault and then quickly and swiftly end the battle, acquiring the territory. Over here is resilience. Determines the likelihood of Papluma to surrender its territories. Resilience is reduced by the army strength of the besieger. Defender loses 50% of resilience. The attacker can start an assault. Now, normally these move in lockstep with each other. I haven't noticed one go down quicker than the other unless you have siege equipment. So if you have siege works, barracks upgraded to siege works, I have not built it yet. I'll go ahead and start building it. If you have an army that's garrisoned at a barracks, once you have upgraded siege works, in their logistics panel, you can purchase equipment. I have a video on this, so check it out. I'll try to link it up as a card to make it easier to access, and that explains all the siege equipment. So if you have siege equipment, it's going to impact the siege defense quicker, reducing it quicker, which brings me up here. So up here in the top left, we have a lift siege, which means we retreat and incur losses like you do in any retreat. And then you have assault. So once the resilience and or siege defense drops below 50%, again, normally these work in lockstep unless you have siege equipment, which brings down the siege defense quicker. We then can assault. And effectively what assault will do is it will allow us to attack the castle immediately and enter battle. So you're going to see that here in a little bit. We're going to ignore everything on
Our
the left here
army
for the purposes
disapproves of our
this
recent actions.
video,
Enemy troops have
and
crossed our borders.
we're going
Sire, our enemies were reinforced in battle.
we're going to lose that. Again, for the
Our
purposes of this video,
merchant's
we don't really
opinion
care
has worsened.
about any of
Our
that
opinion
stuff.
with the peasantry has taken a hit. Enemies are
That's
burning
okay.
one of our
So
settlements.
this is what
Enemies
happens when
have
we just
pillaged
ignore
one of our
everything. I should
settlements.
have probably
Sire,
brought
the
siege
peasantry
equipment.
is delighted with our
So
actions.
part of this
Our
too
diplomat
is
has
we also
strengthened
have
our
enemy
bond with
manpower.
another
You want to keep
kingdom.
track of
Low
that.
stability
You can see
plagues some of
our
our lands, sire. Our army's opinion has improved.
manpower
The
versus
enemy
their
is
manpower
pillaging one of our
is gonna kinda
settlements.
go down
Sire, we have
as we
completed
progressed.
an upgrade. One of our settlements has been pillaged. Our peasantry's opinion has increased.
All right.
Our peasantry's opinion has worsened. Hostile troops have plundered
All right,
our
I'm just
settlement.
out of
One of our
principle.
settlements is being pillaged. For Christ and glory, a new crusade is coming. The leader of our alliance signed peace with our enemies, and the war is over.
All right,
Enemy
so
troops are attempting to break our siege.
To battle
we're just gonna send
and
those there out of
victory!
principle.
My men are tired,
All right.
but will prevail!
So now that their food is out, you can see here their defender's food is out. They're suffering morale losses. We've entered combat. We didn't have to initiate
We have received a
the
diplomatic
battle
message.
because they tried to break the siege. So they actually sallied forth before we clicked assault, which sometimes happens, especially when they're out of food. They don't want to
Foreign
starve to death. They'd
culture
rather
has spread
fight
to one of our
before they die.
provinces. We
So
have
that's
won
also
a war.
an option
Sire, we've
where
conquered
they can,
another province. We have problems with the foreign
kinda sally
population,
forth
sire.
and
We've
initiate
strengthened the opinion
the
of our
battle
army.
earlier. Now, if they have a lot of buildings that allow them to have heavy food stores, then they might not run out of food and sally forth to fight. And then we click that little button in the top left here that says assault to initiate the battle there, to establish that fight. So now that we've won the battle, Town Siege 1, we have this territory that has a bunch of red lines. And that is because it is in a state of disorder. So Pamplona's population is loyal to Castile and refuses to serve under King Ralph's rule. That's us. And so we need to pacify them. There are a few ways to pacify them. One of the ways that I prefer, I like to do, especially if I have a lot of religion, is with my cleric or whoever your religious character is that you have. I always recommend to have kind of one type of character of each on retainer if you can. They have the ability to adopt population. So effectively, when you take this mission on adopt population, it's going to reduce disorder. So if you click on this, it is costly. In many cases, it could cost up to 1,000 all of your religion. So just keep that in mind. And then
If that
you can
is your
initiate
will.
that, and he's going to try to appease a population. If that does not work, the other option is to establish order through military means. So as long as you have your military presence and a marshal in the town, you can establish order. Actually, yeah, they have to be in the town.
My troops are waiting.
So
Let us restock and rest.
This establish order will subdue the population, and it comes with many consequences. So -1 in province, minus relations with, we don't care, we've basically are going to eliminate them, we're at war. Minus relations with kingdom in our region, so neighboring kingdoms are not going to like this. Minus stability, which fades over time. The reason that established order through military means is not good is that it's going to generate more rebels who are going to pop up and cause chaos, sacking, and pillaging and looting, forcing you to lock down your armies. So I always recommend doing it through religious means, which tends to be nicer. The other aspect too is the chance of success is modified by
Yes, my
traits.
lord.
So here, if we have this, we'll lock it in place. We have Iron Fist. So plus 25% additional chance to succeed in, or plus 25 to additional chance to succeed in established order action. I'm assuming that's 25%. I actually don't know how that works. Here we have 91%. So I think it's a percentage because it's 40 base, 26 knights level 2, 25 Iron Fist skill. That's good. The other aspect here is you can see where it says cost 200. That's gonna have kind of, like I said, the negative penalty to stability, and then it's gonna impact the likelihood of rebels from popping up. So we're going to, again, for the purposes of this
Rebels
video,
are plundering our settlement, my lord.
I don't know where rebels are. I don't even know where that is. Out of
Your
principle.
orders. Home sweet home. Back to the castle.
Out of principle.
Let us restock and rest. Right away. Consider it done, sire.
Alright. Out of principle, go. Go take those guys out.
We have improved our relations with a foreign
we are
kingdom.
waiting.
Enemies have pillaged one of our settlements.
he has
Town
completed-
authorities have been taken over,
He has
sire. The
completed
rebel scum
population
are
adoption
pillaging us.
successfully, removed disorder, and now we have our town. We have access to all our buildings. They have their associated upgrades. You can see here stability is -6. Now, if we were to, there is some kind of minor disorder here, -6. Cultural tensions, other aspects. However, if we were to, I don't know if this is going to work or not.
A diplomatic message has
Let's say we
arrived.
establish order.
Your orders are my command.
So we're going to establish order this way, for the purposes of this video.
Are you in need of my
Oh,
counsel,
no.
sire?
Oh no, how do we stop them?
One of
Stop.
our settlements has been
Okay,
pillaged.
we didn't want him to
Rebels are
succeed.
plundering our settlement, my lord. Disorder has ceased in one of our
Alright,
provinces.
so
a
now
foreign loyalist
see
rebellion
minus
plagues our
34.
provinces.
Which is not
A
good.
rebel
That's going to have
army is
a
besieging
bigger
one of our
negative impact
towns.
to us. We have the 2 little rebel symbols there instead of 1. And that means that the disloyal population in order is going to take longer to recover. So that is how you fight a siege battle, win, and then subdue and bring stability to a new territory or province into your kingdom. Now, there are a couple ways to increase stability.
Let's pray.
Here, we can run bolster culture. So, strengthen the culture of our people in the entire kingdom. That's the only likely you become loyal to Scotland. So, this will increase culture. That can be really important because there are cultural tensions in this region causing -10. You can see there, it's the third one down, or third from the second one in the order, disloyal population, cultural tensions. So a lot of times cultural tensions
A
can
blessed
be resolved
day.
through bolster culture. You can also adopt population is when they're in
More
disorder,
foreign loyalists
and then you
are on
can
the
preach
rise.
Catholicism. Well, that's not going to help you in this case. There are other actions we can
Rebel
take.
thieves are besieging us.
My sword is yours, sire.
Trying to
My
think
troops
here.
are waiting.
Bolster culture, there is other options to help with order. I think they might be, I don't think I have a,
We have received a
hold on.
diplomatic message.
we're going to try something here.
What a fine day to trade.
May
We're
God
gonna-
bless you, my lord.
We're going to,
I'm coming back, sire, but we lost some good profits.
we're going to exile
Bless
this guy.
you and farewell.
You're very wise to hire me.
Oh yes,
Let me
teach
see
me
here.
more of that.
Ha ha ha. I am superior.
Hmm. I think I might be
Should we march?
mistaken. Infiltrate kingdom, no. I thought there was something else to help with stability, but I think bolster culture is probably your best bet from that perspective. If I'm wrong, please comment. I'm still learning this game. I'm playing a fair amount of it actually. It really got sucked into it. It's a lot more complex and fun than I initially thought. But hopefully you found this helpful. And if you did, please consider dropping a thumbs up. I hope to see you in future videos. Shadow Coast out.